Hey everybody, welcome back and welcome to the Tidbits. And if you think I'm going to follow the zag, no, we're going to zig for a second because we're going to start with something of a rumor with Delta Airlines. We'll get to the other big news toward the end of the video, but we're going to start with Delta Airlines because there's a rumor, or Delta is hinting at something that will possibly degrade your overall experience, and it's the exact thing that all the other airlines are going to jump on as soon as they can. What am I talking about? Well, in a recent investor call, Delta was asked about the possibility of we're going to go with basic business. That's what the points guy used, but effectively unbundling business class fares to make business class cheaper and more accessible, but also read worse. So, unbundled fares, for those not familiar, is what happened to make your flying experience kind of crap over the last 20 years. The pay for everything on the flight, the pay for your ability to choose your seat, pay for the ability to have a carry-on, pay for checked bags, pay for this, pay for that, pay for everything else. When that hit coach, business and first class were largely unaffected and have remained largely unaffected. Delta sees fit, for whatever reason, oh wait, I know what reason that is, profit. Delta sees fit to start making changes. And they'll probably be subtle at first. It'll probably start with paying for seat selection. What's a couple bucks to at least pay for my business class seat? Everything else will be included, and then you're gonna have to pay for your carry-on. And you're gonna have to pay for your check bags, which were included with business class tickets. Or they may delay the inevitable on that one. Oh, your business class ticket included a lounge visit. Well, to keep the lounge visit, what's an extra $70 to $100? Delta is going to potentially finagle with this. And if it's going to work for Delta, because it's going to work for Delta, Delta is one of the largest airline carriers in the United States, and they do a pretty decent business internationally, and they're the American anchor airline of SkyTeam. You could see other SkyTeam companies jumping in on this. Flying Blue, Virgin Atlantic, Korean Air, and so on and so forth. So the possibility of this is worrisome, to me at least. I am not someone who goes out of their way to book business class, but business class using points, isn't that sort of why we jump into the game? Well, are you going to use your points to book unbundled business class? And how many more points are you going to have to use? And how much more spend do you have to get the amenities that you thought you were going to be booking when you decided to get the credit card to make that trip? It's all a slippery slope, and Delta will probably be leading the charge, followed up by United, followed up by American, all while claiming continual poverty, except their airlines are effectively banks, and their point systems are effectively keeping them not losing tons of money, but not doing as bad as they claim to be. Not 100% sure on the math on that one, but I'm pretty sure the math is closer to my math than what they claim. Anyway, Delta appears to be looking at doing basic business or unbundling business. And you'll probably see it start with something like seat selection, and it'll go to lounge access, and then carry-ons, and then check bags, and get our credit card and get one check bag free. Oh, you had to check 2 bags? Haha, sorry. So let's see what happens. Let's hope they don't do it. But anyway, sticking with SkyTeam, currently there is a system issue with Virgin Atlantic at the time of recording. This could get fixed in the next day or so, but Virgin Atlantic is not able to book with Virgin Atlantic points onto KLM Flying Blue. There's some sort of issue. It's not working. They're aware of it. There is an error message. I'll put the link for that story down below as well. That is also from the Point Sky. So we're going to now switch and go into the zag that everyone else has been talking about, because Danny the Deal Guru has been all over this news today. We're going to jump in with Capital One. First, we're going to talk about the Capital One Savor card. Not the Savor One, the Savor, the $95 annual fee card. As of today, the Savor card has been discontinued for public applications. So We're not sure what's going to be happening with this, but they do say that Capital One has put out a statement saying that Capital One will no longer accept new applications for the Savor card. Existing Savor card holders will not be impacted by this change and can continue to use their cards as they normally would without interruption. Absolutely. City can keep a dead card, of a no longer publicly available card, alive forever. See the city prestige. So it seems that they have pulled the plug on the 4 times dining card that they had, 4% on internet entertainment and popular streaming services, and it was 3% back at grocery stores. The Savor got cannibalized by the Savor One. For $95 less than an annual fee, you could do just as well on earnings, pretty much just as well on earnings, with the Savor One. So the Savor One made the Savor obsolete, much like another card made another card obsolete, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second, because hilarity. So Capital One has discontinued the annual fee Savor card. We'll see how long they support it. The obvious path would be that when they determine that they're not going to support it any longer is just to downgrade everyone down to the Savor One card. They should be honoring downgrades as well to folks, like if the card's no longer going to be available. That kind of starts the clock ticking on how long it'll support, because I can't imagine that Capital One will operate the way that Citi does by keeping cards no longer publicly available supported forever. In that lens, Capital One much more like Microsoft or Apple. Yeah, you get some time, but it's finite, whereas Citi seems to be taking a Linux approach to things. And if you don't get that analogy, I'm sorry, I'm a nerd. But there you go. So Capital One has discontinued the Savor card. We'll see what happens from there. Sticking with Capital One and cards that got cannibalized by other cards, Capital One has put out a new limited edition, limited time offer on the Venture card. This is the $95 annual fee Venture card, 2 times miles on everything. Usually a 75,000 point welcome offer on about $4,000 in spend in the first 3 months of holding the card. Typically a strong offer. Now, it's the exact same offer as the $349 annual fee Venture X card, and the Venture X is also a 2 times point earning card. The Venture card only comes with 2 lounge passes until the end of this year. The Venture card comes with Hertz 5-star, gold 5-star status, whereas the Venture X comes with Hertz President's Circle status, both of which are expiring at the end of the year, the availability for it. But they are out with a new offer on the Venture card that is potentially worth about $1,000 in value. Now, it's not worth $1,000 total, but worth about $1,000 in value. So what'll happen is if you apply for the card right now, you'll get the ability to get $250 to use in the Capital One travel portal. That is good for the first year of holding the card. Plus, you'll earn the usual 75,000 points, bonus miles on spending $4,000 in purchases within the first 3 months of holding the card. Now, the Venture card also does things like it gives you TSA pre-check, it's 2 times miles on everything, it's a nice catch-all card, you can get elevated earnings by booking through the Capital One portal. It's 5 times, I want to say it's 5 times hotels and rentals, because the 10 times is with the Venture X. You don't get access to like the limited prestige edition hotels that the Venture X does, but the Venture was a really strong travel card, and then Capital One came in over the top with a carbon copy of the card for $300 more, but made it so that the value that you get every year on the Venture X, as opposed to the Venture, is you get $5 back in your pocket, or well, $5 back in your pocket with the $300 travel credit in the Capital One travel portal, and then 10,000 anniversary miles every card anniversary. Valued at 1 cent per point, that would be $100. Capital One miles, when using the travel erasure feature, are worth 1 cent per point. When you transfer them out, they're worth potentially considerably more, depending on what transfer you do, what redemption you get, how you do your booking, this, that, and the other. So, Venture card, this is a weird move to me, at least. I don't see why you're pushing this welcome offer on a card that is going to get even further nerfed at the end of the year, unless you're planning some potential changes to the card or cards. What those would be, I don't know. But it's weird to me that they're doing this limited time offer because they need to get signups on the venture card. You know how you could get more signups, Capital One? Loosening your restriction on the Venture X, which everyone wants. Doing this and potentially loosening your restrictions on the venture card, sure, but now you're going to like force people to get an upgrade later so that you don't have to pay out the same 75,000 points. And is that what they're doing? That'd be mean, but it's Capital One, so who knows? I honestly, in a world where the Venture X now exists, I don't see who signs up for the Venture card unless you look at the Venture X and you say, well, I don't travel enough to justify that card, but I travel just enough and love Capital One so much that I'll settle for the $95 card. Even if you fly twice a year, the Venture X can pay for itself. I do not see where the typical Venture helps, but that's just me. Anyway, we're going to close with news of a new Centurion Lounge. American Express is finally opening the Centurion Lounge at DC National Airport. It is the first credit card issuer lounge opening at DC National. I could use the other name for it, but I choose not to. So DC National is getting its first Centurion Lounge. It's going to be in Terminal 2. American Express Platinum gets you access to it if you are flying Delta through National. You can get access with the American Express Delta Reserve credit card, but the Platinum, the Centurion, gets you access to Terminal 2. They're, as usual, looking to do local flair, local eatery, things like that. So we'll see what happens there. Also coming in terms of credit card access or credit card pizzazz, I don't know what the right word is, at National is going to be a Capital One landing, what they're calling a landing cafe. Effectively just a kind of grab and go type situation at National, so we'll see what happens. But Centurion Lounge at National, which has been long awaited, is finally opening tomorrow, July 17th of 2024. So that's going to do it for this one. If you like what I do, hit the like and subscribe button down below as we are pushing our way to 1,200 subscribers. Thank you everyone who watches, likes, comments, and subscribes. If you want to support me, there are ways to support me down in the pinned comment below. Link trees to various referrals, if you'd like to use those. Buy me a coffee, Ko-Fi, things like that. If you feel so inclined, I appreciate it if you do. If not, no big deal. And yeah, there's going to be 2 videos here. If you feel so inclined, check those out. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.